Hey, what's going on? This is another pre-Chiro episode where we're just speaking to prospective chiropractic students and helping contextualize the path to become a chiropractor. Today, we're in for a treat. We've got a practicing chiropractor out in New Jersey, Dr. David Sarnoff. Thank you so much for sharing some time with the students this morning. Can we just get started right off with you talking about where you were at before you went to chiropractic school and what were some frustrations that you had in deciding what was the best career path for yourself and how you came across chiropractic?
Yeah, first of all, I appreciate you having me on, and I'm glad I can help potentially guide students into a life of happiness that I have right now. And one of the things that was frustrating when I was in school, in high school, it's like, what are you going to do? And you're like, oh, I want to be a veterinarian. I want to be a police officer. I want to open up a health food store. And it was like the things that you had to go through. It wasn't really clear, on just, the path to get to where you were, happy and you were, you were excited to go into work. It just seemed like it was like a struggle to, to, you know, uh, oh, you have to go to the school. And then once you go to school, you get out of school, you have a degree, but then there's no guarantee that you're going to get a job or, that somebody's going to hire you or you're going to do an interview. And then, once you got a job, then you initially had to work for somebody and they were telling you what to do and it was on their hours and it wasn't like a sense of freedom. So it was pretty frustrating, in high school and then picking what to do in college. And a lot of times college is just a waste of time. Like you're in there, you're partying, you're having a good time. And then, then you got to maintain your grades. And then at the end of it, you owe like, $100,000 for just going to school and partying, so that was kind of frustrating in the beginning when I was looking to find out what I wanted to do.
hmm And so I hear you, there's a lot of distractions, there's a lot of pressure and noise when you're coming up. You don't necessarily have the focus and you don't have the passion per se. Some people do. But what were some of the challenges that you had in really picking the right path for yourself? And then once you got into chiropractic school, what were some more challenges that you encountered?
I think I'm 51 years old right now, and like a lot of people, like a lot of kids, when I was younger, in seven to that maybe the 16 to 20 range, age 16, 20 years old, I was focused on money. I was like, well, what can money do? How much money can I make doing this? And they start thinking about, wow, maybe I'll buy a BMW, I'll get a cool place, I'll get a Rolex. And what I've noticed, just to jump ahead, I've noticed that people that have chased the dollar and gotten the dollar really don't have a core happiness. Like they're like when you think about it as a student right now, you got no money, and you got a lot of great friends and you're having good times. If you get $15 in your pocket, you go out, you have a couple beers and you'll, play some music and dance and have a good time and you're still broke and you're having the greatest time of your life. But once you start chasing the dollar, you'll get it. Anything that you want, you put into your mind, you're gonna get. But when you have a dollar, when you get all that money, it's kind of lonely because most of your other friends that you're hanging out with don't have that big dollar. And then the people that you're hanging out with the big dollar are all, it's not real. So what happened was is I went to my younger brother's a chiropractor, and growing up in New Jersey, it's always like you take care of the younger. So it was kind of interesting because I helped him. I kind of schooled him a little bit going through high school, tell him, look, this is what to look for. Don't hang out with these people. Do your best. This is a great time in your life. Then he went to college for undergraduate, and I helped him there. And then when he got into chiropractic school, I was real proud of him. After he graduated chiropractic school, the circle of life came around, and then he inspired me. He's like, look, you know, because at the time I was I was chasing the dollar, like you were talking about, and I was working for a mortgage banker company, and I was selling mortgages and stuff like that. I was making a lot of quick money, and then I got an offer for money, and I left the place that I had set roots in, and I went for a headhunter, which is, try to place people in jobs, and I made quick money signing bonuses, but it was all about the money. So my brother said, hey man, why don't you come to this camp? This guy named Arno Brunier is having this outbound camp in Durango, Colorado. It's 6 days, and it's like, I didn't know it at the time, but you eat vegan, you meditate in the morning, you do stretches in the morning, and you really get to the core you. So it was kind of like confused a little bit, because I was like, do I bring my golf clubs, or what do I do? He's like, nah, man, it's not like that. Just come out. So I went to this camp for 7 days, and we walked up mountains in silence, and we really got to the core me. I really got to the core of me, and I found out, it's like, man, I was put on this earth to, like, better my community, wherever I am in life, bettering the situation. So at that particular time, after I went to that 7 day camp, I was so real with myself. I was so clear on what my core wanted, which was to be happy, healthy, and comfortable. It had nothing to do with money. I mean, back to the students, when you think about it, right now, are you happy? Yeah, you're happy. You're in school. Are you healthy? Yeah, you're probably healthy. And are you comfortable? Sure, you're comfortable. You're in a dorm. You're going to classes. Your school's being paid for. But it's like, where do we lose that? It's like, then when we get out of school, if we're in like a finance job, or like a construction job or something, we start making $100,000. Are we still happy, healthy, and comfortable? Yes. So why do we push for more? Why do we want to, like, buy a house? What are we saying? Why do we want $1 million? I mean, if you were making the $60,000 a year and you're happy, healthy, and comfortable, and you could do that for the rest of your life, it's like the lottery ticket. So after going to that camp, I decided to go to chiropractic school, because I felt like that was one of the purest things that I can do, to, like, just wake up every day, and my only job was to help people. My only job was to love on people. My only job was to clear my mind in the morning, and then when I got to work, just serve the people that came into the office, and kind of make life easier for them. And that was so awesome. So that's how I decided to be a chiropractor, was because I schooled my younger brother. He became a chiropractor. And then, as confusing as chiropractic was, because I was like, oh yeah, when you have a neck pain, you go to the chiropractor and you get cracked. Or when you have a back pain, you go to the chiropractor and you get cracked. But what I realized is that that wasn't it at all. That was like a very, very minor percent of what chiropractic is. It's like chiropractic deals with the expression of life, and that has nothing to do with people's symptoms. Like, a true chiropractor, like a core chiropractor, doesn't chase pain. They they look for the vertebrae in the back, which surrounds the spinal cord, and if it's misaligned, then the signals from the brain aren't getting to the body at 100%. So the person could have pain, or diverticulitis, or anxiety, or stuff like that. It wasn't my job to tap into what they had going on in their life. My job was just to check their bones, and if it's misaligned, with a very gentle adjustment, if it's a little old lady, a very gentle adjustment if it's a baby, or a more aggressive adjustment if it's a big bodybuilder, to put their body back in line, and then back off. And it's like, I say to the people, I say, look, guys, I have nothing to do with your symptoms. My job is just to put your body into a position where you express life. I was so intrigued about that. I was so fascinated that, like, wow, I can make my own schedule. If I don't feel like freaking waking up Monday mornings at 6 o'clock in the morning and punching in the time clock, and I feel like just cruising into the office at 11 o'clock, I could do that. If I want to wear, Lululemon, or I don't want to wear a tie and a suit and, a certain uniform at work, that was me. I made my own schedule. I would attract my own clientele. I could hang my sign the way that I wanted. And it's just, I was like, and then going to chiropractic school, it was like-minded people, it was like most of the people were so clear and inspired. And there were some people in chiropractic school that went there for the money, and they've done really well. I mean, they've made a lot of money, but I don't think they're truly happy. They're not as happy as I am. They're not as happy as the friends that I hang out with. They're not as happy as the friends that are more concerned about, loving on people every day. But if somebody wants to go into chiropractic for money, there's a lot of money to be made. But at the same time, I'm that's not me. I didn't get into chiropractic for the money. I get into chiropractic to just allow my body, allow my space to set up the way I want to. So every morning that I wake up, I'm happy. I'm extremely healthy, because I'm fascinated with health, and I love going to the office. I can't wait to get to the office. Like, right now, it's 8:15, so to speak, and Eastern Standard Time. We go into the office today's Monday, so I go in at 11, and I can't wait to get in there. I mean, you know, it's just like a big family, and the bigger my practice is, the bigger my family is, and it's just
Mm,
so fascinating. I mean, and it's just chiropractic is that it's like an endless vacation. It's
mhm,
like so many people that I see that in the friends that I grew up with in my hometown in New Jersey, that are making a lot of money. It's like it's like, oh, I gotta go into work today. I'm like, I don't say anything, but it's like, I can't wait to, I don't even call it work. I'm gonna go in and play today. And it's like, taking a little baby, a great little gentle adjustment. Initially, the baby comes in because maybe they got something going on, like it's colic, or they're not sleeping, or something's going on. You give an itty bitty kind of adjustment, and then for the 15 years now, the kids are teenagers that I was adjusting, when the mothers were pregnant. It's just,
Hmm.
and for somebody that goes to be a chiropractor, regardless how much money you make, it's like hitting the lottery of life. It's like an endless vacation.
Hmm. So, since this is the pre-chiro podcast, let's turn our attention to that student who hasn't even gotten into chiropractic school and help build context for them. Can you talk about the training that you went through? Obviously, you had a great introduction by going to one of those camps for 7 days before you even got to school. I'm sure that translated into you thinking, doing, and experiencing life different before you got to school. But can you maybe build some context as to what a student could be, or that you recommend a student do before they get to chiropractic school, so that they know they're making the right choice, or they get clear on their why?
So I think you hit the nail on the head with the last thing that you said, getting clear on your why. You know, how do I get clear on my why? Well, before chiropractic school, before all the training, before the prerequisites and stuff like that, I would just say, try to sit in a room, quiet room, or sit in the, by the ocean or by a lake or in the woods, and just try to get silent, and just try to silence your mind and find out, what do I want to do for the rest of my life? What's going to make me happy? What's going to resonate with me the most, right? And as a student, the going into chiropractic school, you need some your prerequisites. You're probably going to need like biology 1 and 2, chemistry 1 and 2, organic chemistry 1 and 2. And before going into school, I was like, there's no way I'm going to pass these things. And I had a negative mindset on that because I was like, I was going to be like a salesman or something, and how am I going to know how to pass that? But there's a lot of um, uh, what do you call it? Help classes, so to speak, that I took in, um, like I forget what they're called, like refresh courses or something like that. You know what I'm
Hmm.
talking about, where you do like you go off campus or something, and another student that already took the class does like a refresh or something like that, and then you study
Today
with
we just
them for
call
a
it
little.
YouTube University.
There you go, YouTube University and stuff like that. But it's the prerequisites. They shouldn't be a problem. And then getting involved in a school, I would choose schools. I would try to go with a principled school, like a school that's really focused on when you go to the school, you feel a lot of love. I would visit some schools. I would talk to some chiropractors, go to a chiropractic office, but if you go into a chiropractic office and it feels like it's a medical office, you're in the wrong office. If you go in there and like when you walk in, like they slide a little window and the lady sticks out and says, can I help you and something like that, it's probably not the right one, the right office that you're in. But I would go into like an office that has a lot of reviews where the chiropractor comes out and gives you a hug or something like that.
Hmm. Right on, brother. Yes. Can you talk about how your office is structured to serve the people, and how you're currently expressing chiropractic through your practice?
So that's interesting that you say that, because a lot of we try to set up an office where there's no barriers. Like anybody can come into our office, because everybody to themselves is extremely significant. So if I have a somebody that comes in and they're like an executive of a company, they're a really important person because they're in charge of a lot of people, in they're in charge. They're responsible for a lot of payroll. They're putting food on a lot of table. They're in charge of a whole building, a whole company. So it's extremely important for that person to be completely relaxed so they can be a good boss, right? At the same time, when the janitor comes in, that person's extremely important too. They got a really serious job going on, with taking out the trash and making sure everything's clean. If they're not happy, the rest of the building's not going to be happy. Plus, to me, that janitor's life is exactly as equally important as this chief executive officer's life. So we don't look at people's titles; we look at people as human beings. And I try to put myself in their position when they come into our office. If they're not comfortable, if they're feeling unease or not at ease or a dis-ease, then it's my job. I feel that I had a calling to allow these people to express life without interference. And what we try to do is we try to remove any barriers, and we try to make everybody feel comfortable when they come in. It's an open, kind of open office, semi-open adjusting. When people come in, we have a very friendly front desk staff. If somebody comes in and we try to make the fees extremely affordable. Like no matter what, if anybody comes into our office, they can afford the first adjustment. They can afford the initial consultation. And, so we encourage people to bring in families. We encourage people to bring in kids. For students, you can practice any way that you want. If you want to specialize in people, well, there you have it. If you want to specialize in, pregnant women and infants, you can do that. If you want to specialize in, athletes, you can do that. If you want to if you're like, what, I want to go to chiropractic school and I want to get a portable table and a tent and I want to practice on the beach. I mean, let's just talk about the money just for a second. The average chiropractic adjustment is probably like, I don't know, $55 to $110 per adjustment, right? Let's say a chiropractor just wants to have a great business and they only want to charge $40 an adjustment. That's it. They can set up in Aruba or Cancun or on a beach and they can charge $40 an adjustment cash. All they can do is adjust 20 people in a day. I can adjust 20 people in an hour. So if you adjust 20 people in a day for $40 an adjustment, that's $800 a day. How many days you want to work on the beach for $800 a day? Let's say you work 3 days. It's $2,400 a week on the beach in flip-flops and Ocean Pacific. You know what I mean? You can practice any way you want. No boss is going to be telling you what to do. Nobody's going to be telling you how to hang your flag. It's just you're able to express exactly what you want, and you're going to attract people. You're going to attract like-minded people. It's just I every day I wake up, I'm like, am I really doing this? It's just amazing for so for students, and we need more chiropractors because even if I'm jamming and I'm seeing, let's say I'm seeing 1,000 people a week, which is an unbelievable number. 1,000 people a week is only one neighborhood in the city, in a town, or on a city block. It's only one neighborhood. So we need a lot more chiropractors. I mean, if everybody that saw this went to school and went to chiropractic school, and then they told 10 people, and those 10 people went to chiropractic school, still wouldn't be enough chiropractors out there. I mean, it's just, there's a need for a lot more chiropractors because, people are in need of finding a better way than taking medicine or drinking. And especially now with COVID, there's so much confusion. People are like, oh, should I go on the ventilator? Should I stay away from people? Should I wear gloves? Should I not communicate with my fellow human beings? No, you should continue flowing nervous system. The information out there. Take vitamin D3. Take zinc. Take vitamin C. Enjoy your life. Be out there. But I would go up to somebody you don't know and just start kissing them. You know what I mean? But be free. That's the message to the students is if you want to be free, if you like being free, if you don't like being told what to do, and you want to have a life of luxury as far as decisions that you make, chiropractic is a slam dunk no brainer. It's the most purest profession on the planet, hands down. And it's like Arnold Bernier says, it's an endless vacation.
Yeah, and like Keg John just commented, chiropractic equals freedom. So exactly echoing what you just said. Thank you for sharing such a pure and clear message. I'm right there with you. I've set up a structure in my practice so that no matter who you are, where you're coming from, what your background is, you can afford care. And with students graduating with so much debt today, one thing that I really strongly recommend, because this is a service-oriented profession, is that students create a nonprofit under an umbrella organization like Hands for Life, which was created by Ron Oberstein to allow chiropractors to continue doing what they're doing, but earn credit for it by getting into that 10-year public service loan forgiveness program. And there's so many service trips we do, or we just offer different types of care for different populations, and you can get that acknowledged by the government and then get forgiven on your loans. And by paying income-based repayment for 10 years, the cost of education will end up being around $60K. So it's not $250K like a lot of people make it sound like it's going to be. There is a way to adapt more effectively and not to see it as a barrier to entry. I mean, any healthcare education is going to cost a lot of money, but my point is that as a chiropractor, you're already going to be serving populations who can't necessarily afford your care, and there's a way that you can leverage that to really get forgiven on your loans. At least that's what I'm doing. I'm about 7 years in now. So can we just focus in on basically a last message? I mean, everything has been very clear so far, but can you just give us a last message on all the different types of options that these students have to go in, and basically just getting how to get clear. So just come back to how to get clear on what the right path for you is. I know you said go to an office, spend some time alone in silence. Um, what else can students do to really, or just how can they communicate to their family that this is the right choice for them? Um, how can they build up the confidence in themselves so that when they're questioned, why are you going to become a chiropractor, they know how to communicate clearly why they're going? I mean, I know that you've said it for them or you've said it to them, but how can they say it for themselves?
So a lot of times when people get out of chiropractic school, the ones that they try to convince the most are their family and their best friends. And it's like, you've been hanging out with your brosies and your girlfriends for like 20 some years or 15 years or something. Then all of a sudden you get out of school and you're a shoemaker, you want to do their shoes, or you're a dentist, you want to check their teeth, or you're a chiropractor. A lot of times they're not the people who are going to take you serious. So I would say that when you're speaking to your parents, when you're speaking to your friends, let your core come out, let your passion come out. Find out how you want to handle yourself for the rest of your life. Do you want to be punching in a time card? Nothing's wrong with that. Steady income, you get benefits and stuff like that. Do you want to have somebody tell you what to wear and when to show up to work and stuff like that? That's not for me. Some people, they like the structure, but once you become passionate about it, I think that the people who love you the most, which are your friends, your best friends, and your parents, let them see your truth. Let them see your core. Let them see your passion. Say, hey, listen, mom, the reason I want to be a chiropractor, and what I would say is because every day that I wake up, my only job would be to help people, to relieve them of their stresses, to allow them to express life without interference. And that would give me true joy and happiness. And as a matter of fact, I would do it for free. But you get paid handsomely for chiropractic. That's a key thing right there. Find out something in life, even if it's not chiropractic. Find out something in life that you would be willing to do for free for the rest of your life. And then when you get paid, it's a bonus. For me, it's chiropractic. I love going into the office. I mean, it's like, oh my God, I was born, I'm in existence on this planet, and I'm going into the office, I'm communicating in a loving way how to help people, and I'm getting paid for it. And it's like I set my own hours, I wear what I want, I talk how I want in the office. I'm surrounded by hundreds, thousands of like-minded people just like me that if I have a question, I can call them, I can reach out to them. It's a sorority, it's like a community that I'm locked in with for the rest of my life. And it's so I would say for the students, you got to find that chiropractic office that you resonate with. Keep looking, ask around. Who's the best chiropractor around you? Who's your favorite chiropractor? Who's the nicest chiropractor? You got to do the legwork. And then you'll go to a couple offices, and then that one office will click, and you'll be like, this is exactly the way I want to practice. And then communicate. When you find, if somebody comes into my office and they're looking to become a chiropractor, my heart immediately opens up. And I pretty much give them anything that they need as far as information and love and direction. And you'll find that chiropractor out there. That person you just mentioned, Heg John, he's on fire. I'm so blessed to be in his life and to share things with him. The person you had on before, Josh Siegel, so blessed to be in his life. Ray Omid, Roger Sorori, Dave Martino. Just so many chiropractors out there that I am so completely devoted to, not even devoted to, obedient to. And it's just so I would say if you can show your passion to the people that you love, they'll stand behind you. Don't try to sell them. Don't try to convince them. Just let them know, hey, man, I've done this. I've done my homework on this. This is the thing that I'm extremely passionate about. I would do it for free. I would never want to retire. I'm in 100%, and then
Mhm.
they'll get behind you and they'll back you.
Hmm. All right, so this is a bonus question because you basically, yeah, there's nothing much more to tap into. I mean, you've been very clear, but a lot of where pre-Chiro came from is asking new questions. So what other professions are doing is they have something called like the MCAT, which regardless of what the content is, anything in the planet, that it creates an objective, a goal, something for students to move in the direction of. And I'm just wondering if you can get creative for a moment and uh, if you were able to design an entrance or admission standard beyond the typical classes you got to take and like a supplemental curriculum per se for pre-Chiro student, what should they, how many hours should they be spending in a clinic? How many different types of chiropractors should they go and shadow and work with and get care from? How many hours should they be spent studying philosophy? How many hours should they be spending observing, adjusting? This is kind of the question that I'm asking because I think that we need to create a standard, even if it's an unofficial standard, so that it gives students structure that they can learn and grow and develop within.
I would say that in my buddy Ray Ohm, Dr. Ray Ohm had told me one time, he says the four most important things in your practice is your philosophy. What's your why? So for a student, what's your why? You know, what do you see yourself doing in 30 years? As far as how strong is your relationship going to be with the reasoning of everything? How strong is your health going to be in 30 years? How strong is your family relationship going to be in 30 years? And how strong is your career? How passionate are you going to be about your career in 30 years? Are you going to be in the same career? It's very unlikely that somebody that has a job, which is just over broke right now, that they're going to have that in 30 years. Chiropractic, you're going to be a chiropractor in 30 years. So the most important thing out of those four is going to be philosophy, your why. The second thing is your ability to communicate with people. How do you communicate with people? Like when somebody comes up to you, your best friend says, "Oh man, I just got valedictorian at my college for my bachelor's degree," and then another one comes up to you on a phone call later and says, "Man, I just found out my mom has cancer." How are you able to, your ability to, transfer yourself and be present with that person? That's really important. And so ability to communicate with people. And your last is your technique. Like people's like, well, I can't adjust. Doesn't matter if you can adjust or not. There's techniques that you can use with called an activator. There's light pressure techniques. There's, you can be heavy-handed, light-handed, medium-handed. I can show anybody how to adjust in 2 weeks perfectly. But it's like you said, the bonus question would be, what could a person do? I would say get in front of an office. Look, I've been in business for like 15 years, and this past weekend I went to Kevin Jackson and Selena Sigafus's office in York, Pennsylvania. I sat my butt down, I watched what they did, and after adjusting hundreds of thousands of adjustments, I picked up three things, brought it back to my office. I had an unbelievable Saturday. Unbelievable, because I'm willing to continue to grow, so I have a teachable spirit. I don't feel as though that I'm at the point where I can't learn anymore. So it's like my mind and my heart is open. Like on this phone call, I'm learning stuff. And I think that, what people students could go for is just get in front of the right chiropractor. Keep going until you find the right chiropractor. And then once you find the right chiropractor, ask that chiropractor, who is like you that I can go visit in another state or another city, and then keep going. Because look, it's like you said, chiropractic is going to take you have prerequisites, and then you're going to go to school for 4 or 5 years to serve humanity for the rest of your life. But don't just jump in because of this phone call, because of Chiro, or because of Dr. David Sarnoff, or Hey John or Josh Siegel. Okay, this is a motivating factor for you. Hey, you know what? I'd like to find out more about this chiropractic career. Do the research yourself. Take the situation into your own hands. Don't get caught like midway through chiropractic school. Oh, I should have never done this. I didn't think it was like this. Don't be that person. You know, go out and do your research. So call it like this. There's prerequisites, and there's chiropractic school, and then there's pre-chiropractic adjusting, and then there's adjusting. So before there's four, go into like prereqs. like, okay, I'm going to go around to chiropractors, and that's what I'm going to do. If I'm in high school, I'm going to go visit chiropractors. If I'm in community college, I'm going to go visit chiropractors. And I'm going to find, and before I make a decision to go to chiropractic school, I'm going to find 3 chiropractors that I absolutely am fascinated with, and I want to do exactly what they do. And guess what? When you go through chiropractic school or prereqs, those 3 chiropractors are going to be your 3 legs to take you right through. Never have I met a chiropractor ever that communicates like I do, that doesn't want to support a student 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Just for anything, you got to find a support team and put it around you, and your family and your best friends will follow. But I would say that find 3 chiropractors. And you know how political those MCATs are, and getting into school and who's who, and then your parents got to donate a little money on the side to get you in school. Chiropractic's not like that. Chiropractic
Mm-hmm.
is more vitalistic versus mechanistic. Mechanistic is like you take a watch apart. There's 300 pieces. You put it back together. It works. Mechanistic society. No, no, no. Vitalistic is the human body. You take it apart. You can't put it back together. Vitalism. I'm passionate, man. I could talk to you for 100 hours on here if it has to do with students, because we need
No doubt.
chiropractors.
No doubt. I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, no, I've had nothing but support for this project from day one. Everybody's willing to get down and share a message. The real question is how do we build a structure so that people can recognize it? I think that historically people say, you're called to become a chiropractor. Chiropractic calls you. And I think that that's left us neglecting the idea for outreach and the idea for showing up and being in front of students. Historically speaking, chiropractic doesn't even get mentioned to students in college at all, ever.
Based on what you're saying right there, this is the challenge. This is the challenge that I'll give every single chiropractor, every single student watching this. If you think that you know somebody that could resonate with this video, that might be a potential good chiropractor, take action now. Take action now. Take this video, however you can distribute it, send it to your friend in Montana, New Jersey, Miami. Say, hey, man, I saw a video. I think you should watch this because I think you'll be a great chiropractor, because you were always so grounded. You were always so loving. That person that's maybe not doing nothing, that's working at a local job, making minimum wage and stuff like that. Send them this video. If you know somebody you think that would make a great people's person that could resonate with this, send it out. Let it go viral. Because I'm telling you, if 10 million people became chiropractors in the next 5 years, still not enough chiropractors out there. And it doesn't just mean United States. It's like what we were talking about earlier. You could practice in Brazil. You could practice in Italy. You could practice in Spain. You could practice in Australia. You could practice in Alaska. You could practice anywhere. Anywhere you want to go, you're able to be the human expression that you were designed to be, and not like in like the cubicle. Not saying nothing's wrong with the cubicle, but that's not for me. So so you students that are watching this, if you know somebody that'll resonate with this video, send it to them, ship it to them. Take action now. That if that person becomes a chiropractor, you just saved their life, versus them, potentially going through depression, committing suicide, and all that other stuff. Not even
Mhm.
close. Not even close.
Mhm.
People are in need now more than ever, especially with this COVID-19 thing going on. People need stronger immune systems now. My office is so busy right now
Mhm.
because I'm telling the true message. They aren't coming in for neck and back pain. They're coming in to have a higher immune system to protect themselves against, people that have sickness and diseases, and mental, physical, and emotional, freedom, not for neck and back pain. We don't chase pain.
Mhm. No, I agree. My practice is bigger than it's ever been, and it's got that same message of we're here to strengthen ourselves, to think beyond the current narrative, and the narrative psychology is putting people in a place of fear, and this is a place where you can come, and there's no fear here. We're here just as we were before, just to serve and to celebrate life. So, I want to thank you today for the message. Appreciate you, and if you're a prospective student, leave a comment below, share this, like it. And yeah, I just think that if I would have heard a message like this, it would have just helped me, especially after I knew that I wanted to become a chiropractor. Messages like this continually reinforce who we are, what we're about, what the profession's about, and we just need more of it. So anyone out there who wants to get on and share, please do. And any last messages about what's going on for your future? you said you're 15 years in practice. If you were to visualize your 30th year in practice, what's it look like? Has it changed at all? Has it evolved at all? We're continually learning, but how are you practicing different or not different?
I'm trying to slow time down a little bit, so when I'm in the office, you know, I try to get more focused, not committed to my practice, but obedient. Try to be more obedient. Continue having a teachable spirit. Continue to learning. Continue to now the Zoom thing's really cool. Continuing to connect with my brothers and sisters in chiropractic and talk about what's going on there. Getting closer to the reason why we're here. Becoming more humble. Maintaining health, stretching, nutrition, meditation, but it's like I know what I need to do. I'm trying to do it better, not condoning mediocrity, continue getting the message out there. So, being more efficient with getting the message out there. So prospective people that might want to be chiropractors, they get it quicker. Like in other words, you and I have been talking, for maybe 30 some minutes, maybe after like 5 minutes of talking, people will get it and they'll take action, just sharing with people and loving on people, I guess in another 15 years, where do I wish I could be? I hope I have a stronger relationship with the reasoning why we're here. I hope my health is just as healthy, maybe a little more flexible in different areas, in spirit, mind, and body, and have a stronger relationship with my family and have a stronger relationship with my community and maintain, the majority of my people that are coming in right now, to keep them under care, just like that. It's pretty simple. It's not, it should be very low stress. It should, like I said, Dr. Arnaud Bernier, it should just be an endless vacation, and I hope that my 30th year in business is the same as my 45th year, and another nice thing is, like, what the hell do I have to worry about putting money away for retirement? I do put money away for retirement, but if I never plan on retiring, what kind of portfolio do I need? If I even when I get to be 75 years old, if I'm still adjusting 50, 60 people a week for $40 investment, still bringing in $100,000 practicing after my pinochle game with my other seniors. You know what I mean? What kind of retirement do you need if you're never going to stop? Why would you ever want to stop releasing life out of somebody? Why would you ever want to stop removing interference from somebody's body if you're still able to do it? So if I'm focusing on my mind and my body, my health first, and then I'm able to serve, why would you ever want to stop doing that? So once you become a chiropractor, it's your calling. You do it for the rest of your life till you die. You're not working, but you're loving, and your heart is so wide open. Less chance of heart disease, less chance of cancer, less chance of of anxiety and depression. Chiropractors are pretty happy, in my opinion. The ones that I see,
No doubt. No, I'm surrounded by people that are living an expanded existence right now, as opposed to a lot of people that are just contracting. So yeah, thank you so much, David, and have a beautiful day, my friend. Enjoy practice, and thank you for giving me a lot of inspiration as well today, or just giving me a lot of clarity on what it looks like to be a true chiropractor in practice, and being a shining example. Good example, man.
I hope to see you ever get to the East Coast to maybe a new beginnings, or a dynamic essential seminar or something like that. That'd be kind of cool to resonate with you there.
No doubt. I'm from New York. I'll be out there. It's got to happen. I just, I got that young baby right now, and the young family, and just it's important to stay grounded in practice. A lot of the times I would take these extended vacations to other places in the world, and be a traveler. I'm a world traveler, but I think that it definitely feels right to be grounded right now.
Yeah, wherever Heg John goes, that's where I go to. John Eagle too. We all travel together.
Awesome, beautiful. Yeah, Heg was tuning in here. I'm sure he's still on the line. Appreciate you, Heg, for being present with us this morning.
Yeah, and anything that you need from me, please don't hesitate to call. And I wish you guys a happy holidays and a very prosperous, healthy New Year too.
Thank you, David. Appreciate you, brother. Have a great day, man. I'm gonna take off.
Thank you.
Thank you.